Well, hello and welcome to today's session. My name is Steve Ibsen and I'm the Product and Market Development Manager at AMETEK. AMETEK is the leading provider of Rotron regenerative blowers. This is the first in a series of monthly webinars focused on the Regen product line. Save the dates as we will be presenting a different topic on or about the first Tuesday of the month at 11 a.m. Look for your invitations to register in your email box. Today we are presenting a manufacturing update for the regenerative blower product line. As many of you know, this line was moved from our Saugerties, New York plant to our Rock Creek, North Carolina plant about 2 years ago, and we wanted to share with you the improvements we have made. Just a reminder, anybody joining, if you could please mute your phone, that would be appreciated. Just a little housekeeping before we get started here. Today's Coffee with AMETEK webinar will be recorded and made available to you sometime later today, along with a copy of the PowerPoint slides. You will be on mute, so if you have any questions during the presentation, please use the instant messenger icon in the lower left portion of your screen to submit them to me. We will address as many questions as we can at the end of the presentation. Those of you on social media platforms can refer to the hashtag #CoffeeWithAMETEK. Now, without any further delay, I'd like to introduce today's presenters. First, you will be hearing from Craig Wright, Materials Manager, followed by Steve Meyer, Quality Assurance Manager, both from our Rock Creek, North Carolina manufacturing operations. We will also be hearing from Maureen Spanier, our Customer Service Manager out of our Harleysville, Pennsylvania office, and last but not least, the regenerative blower guru, Neil Lynch, Senior Applications Engineer. Craig, I'd like to turn the presentation over to you.
Okay, good morning. As Steve has already said, my name is Craig Wright. I'm the Materials Manager at Rock Creek, North Carolina. And just to share some of the highlights of recent activity relative to the Regen business, wanted to let everyone know that it does represent the largest stocking program that we have at the Rock Creek facility. There are 152 items that are programmed into our MRP system to be stocked at various quantities. We do track stock status, and we are currently running about 80% of those items to be in stock at a given point in time. That meaning that of the 152 items, there will be some quantity in stock. 80% of those items would have some quantity in stock, and that is a pretty good number based on history. And to further explain it, if many of those items that are stocked have only one piece required to be in stock, so if that unit ships out of stock, then we have a period of time that it takes to replenish it. So at any point in time when we look into the system, 80% of the items are in stock, and the others are in the process of being replenished. And again, we do track that stock status weekly. The other thing that I wanted to share with everyone is our on-time delivery performance, and we do track and monitor that. And year-to-date 2018, on the Regen product line, we're running 92% on-time delivery performance. To give a history of where we've been, and where on our way to where we are now, the first quarter of 2017, on-time delivery was 87%. The second half of 2017, on-time delivery was 90%. So we are demonstrating continuous improvement through time as we learn more and more about this business model and these products. And we do expect further on-time delivery improvement as product management further analyzes and refines the stocking program and our forecasting. This time, I'll turn it over to Steve Meyer.
Thanks, Greg. My name is Steve Meyer. I am the Dynamic Fluid Solution Business Unit Quality Assurance Manager, and I am at the Rock Creek facility. I've worked for AMETEK for 23 years, so I have a lot of experience throughout the different aspects of manufacturing. So I'll speak first to machining. We did relocate all manufacturing and machining from Saugerties to Rock Creek. We brought the equipment and actually the operators to train and to show us how to run the parts to the specifications that are needed for the very tight tolerances for the impellers to housings. So we are currently machining all of our impellers, housings, muffler components in-house. The components are inspected and stocked so that we can, along with the stocking program with the blowers themselves, we are stocking components to be able to better respond and reduce lead time on items that are not stocked as finished units. So we are stocking our shelves. There's a few pictures here of components waiting for orders. We are using the capabilities of our relocated horizontal machining centers to machine all of the mufflers, housings, impellers, and then secondary and add-on items such as valves and gates and water separators. And we have turning capacities up to 20-inch diameter in the shop. All of the items that are machined are first article inspected and then machined, washed, and moved to stock. We've gone through a deal of relaying out of the flows of both the machine shop and the relocated manufacturing. We took an entire facility and moved a facility inside another existing facility. So what we've done is we've got a very lean setup. We're utilizing jib cranes to move equipment around, or big impellers and housings around. And we lay everything out in a linear flow. So when the order is kitted and brought to the line, it's built, tested, painted, packaged, all in a linear flow, and normally all on the same day if possible. Testing, we've created a server-based tester which tests to the individual test specification that is unique to each model, and we record the data from the test when it is performed by the date code if that's all that's available, or if it is a serialized unit by serial number. And then, as Craig said, we stock many of the finished units after they're assembled and tested for immediate shipment to our customers. And I'll turn this over to Maureen, who can speak to more about the customer service aspect.
Maureen, please unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. I am the U.S. Customer Service Manager for the DFS Business Unit. In addition to that, I handle the HKP Business Unit, which means I have 4 factories and 4 customer service teams under my jurisdiction, I guess is a good word. So it is a pretty heavy load, and because of that, we have put team leaders in place. We have Shannon Davis, who acts as the team leader for the DFS Business Unit. Sitting here with me, I have Diane Kleintop, and I wanted Diane to give a shout out here and say hi to everybody, because I know all of you know Diane very well.
Hi guys, how's everybody doing?
So in addition to Diane, we have Teresa Scott on the Regen team. Teresa handles a small territory. I think she has 2 sales reps, but she also acts as Diane's primary backup when I dare to allow Diane to take vacation. What we do, in a nutshell, what we do as a customer service team is to act as the liaison between our customers and our factories. We try to balance the best of both worlds in an effort to get the customers what they want and keep the factory's needs met and satisfied. So not always an easy task, but I think that this team does a really good job. And especially Diane. I mean, Diane handles most of you reps out there, and I think she does a fabulous job doing it. So I don't think anybody would argue that. So we're fortunate to have her on this team. What do we do specifically? I have a very bold statement here. Customer service in Harleysville processes all customer POs for the Rock Creek factory. I'm here to tell you that's a lie. I messed up. We also have two other international colleagues. We have Wendy Chen sitting in Asia, and we have Helga Vogel sitting in Germany. Helga handles everything Europe, and Wendy, of course, all of the Asian orders. Between all of our customer service people, we process approximately 710 orders per month. That's a lot of orders. Thank you. We really, really appreciate it. What we have asked in the past, and what I want to just reiterate again, is that we really do need your help with those orders. Most of the orders come through each of you before they're sent into Diane or Teresa for processing. We ask that you remain vigilant in reviewing those orders, helping to make sure that the order is correct before it comes over to us for processing. Things like part numbers, prices, payment terms, freight terms, vendor name, lots of different things on those POs need to be right before we can process them. And if they get to us and they're not right, we kick it back to you for correction. So it would be a tremendous benefit if you just take a look at that and try to ensure that they're right before they come over. Not only do we process orders, but we also process all of the return paperwork for RMAs that go through the factory. The front end of the RMAs, by front end I mean the initial request for an RMA, goes through quality. So Steve Meyer's department, I think more specifically Michael James, processes those RMAs for you, and he gets you the paperwork that you need to return product to us. We handle the back end of it, so we make sure that the return shipping paperwork is created, that it's created properly, that the proper shipping method is on there depending on how fast you need that back. So we handle all of that, and we work very closely with Steve's team to make sure that that's a smooth process. Last but not least, one of our primary functions is to act as the go-to person, go-to team for all of your questions concerning the orders that you've placed with us. We can help you with expedites, push-outs, status requests, tracking numbers, you name it. We're here to answer those questions for you. So whatever it is you need, Diane and Teresa can help with that. Hot orders are a frequent occurrence with the Regen product line. Diane, I think on a daily basis, or close to daily, gets a call that says, I need this order, I need it now, what can you do? It's a great big SOS to get this product out to the customer. We work with the factory, we do everything that we can to make that happen for you. If you ask a question that we don't know the answer to, which is rare, we know where to get that answer, and we will either go find that answer for you and get back to you, or we might redirect you to somebody like our Regen guru, Neil, who is able to answer any technical questions you might have. and not only technical. Neil answers a whole lot more than that as well. And then the last thing I have to share with you is just who your team is and how to contact us. You probably all are aware of this, but just in case you're not, Diane is your primary contact for all of the reps with the exception of APSCO and Texas Air Handlers. Those two reps are handled by Teresa. Shannon Davis is the team leader. If for some reason you can't reach Diane, you can't reach Teresa, Shannon is always there. She's willing to help. And if you can't get anybody, or if you have a serious issue that we're not able to satisfy, you are welcome to call me at any time, and I'll do whatever I can to help make the situation better. That's it. That's customer service in a nutshell. Thank you. Oh, Neil, you're up.
All right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. All right. Only because I'm working remote because my cable went out, so I have no phone, no Wi-Fi, no nothing. So I'm down the street from my house. For everybody who knows me, I'm Neil Lynch. I'm the application engineer, or basically question answerer. My section will be pretty quick today. I'm concentrating on specials. A lot of you know them as ESs or EOs or custom products. We did those in Saugerties, and we still do those down in Rock Creek, although how we do them on the back end is different than we did them on Saugerties. In Saugerties, we were very much off the computer system through strictly paperwork requisitions, and basically it was all one person doing stuff off the computer system. How we do it in Rock Creek, which is a better documented system, is everything now has to be documented, which unfortunately does take a little bit longer, and we realize that and are working very hard on minimizing that delay through some internal programs, which we hope to bear fruit in the future. As far as specials are concerned, obviously they should be run through me if you have any questions or want to know pricing. That's what I do. And we will actually, in the future, gain lead times by having repeat orders. And once we've established a foundation for many of these parts that we are documenting, once they're documented, we're good to go in the future. So you can expect the lead times to actually keep decreasing as we go forward. So that's basically the quick and dirty about are we doing specials. For technical knowledge, which is the next slide, and application knowledge, we have a lot of literature and resources available, not only people-wise, but physical literature-wise. Our website and pricing program are probably the first things you should stop to for any literature or technical information. Obviously, the hard catalogs are still available if you have them in your offices. They do, unfortunately, go out of date pretty quickly just because they are static, versus the website is dynamic. The printed brochures that we have, such as the chemical process brochures, the spa brochures, are still available, and if you need to, you can just ask for them. We also have, of course, the master binder, which all the rep offices have. I use that almost every day, and I keep it up to date. I think the last update was 2016. We will actually be updating it for 2018-19 timeframe as well. You can reach many of the different people as you will be receiving a list of major contact phones and emails. And of course, you have other people within AMETEK and your own offices to bounce things off of. Lastly, really quick, we have the application knowledge, which kind of follows along the previous slide. Basically, if you remember the old Air in Action application brochures that we used to print out with a unique application, of course, the master binder and the people within AMETEK who have much experience. The one benefit of the combined divisions is that even though it's a region, but maybe it would be better served by a different technology. We actually now have the experience to combine that and get the customer the best product, whether it's a special region or whether it's a Windjammer type product. So don't feel limited by applications. Bounce everything off of us. Give us an opportunity to at least look at it, and then we can see what we can do if it's our product or not. And if you do happen to see a tool that you think should be made, bounce that off of us too, because we're always looking for ideas, because we're not always in the field and we don't always have the opportunity to see what's actually needed out there. And if there's something you need, let us know. So that's pretty much my quick 3 slides. I think I'll turn this back over to Steve.
Thank you, guys. We will go ahead and take some questions now. Just a reminder, please be sure to send us your question using the instant messenger icon in the bottom left corner of the Skype screen.
Okay, Steve, the first question is, how do we base on-time delivery, customer request, or standard factory lead time? Steve or Craig, can you chime in for us?
Yes, the on-time delivery metric that was shared is based upon what we acknowledge and confirm back to the customer on each of the orders. So if we promise that it will ship on April the 28th, then it has to ship on or before April the 28th to be considered on time.
Thank you. Our next question is, how long is the blower run during testing, and does it get to maximum temperature? Steve, Neil, or Craig?
This is Steve. The blower is tested, hooked up, and run until it reaches its performance points. It is not burned in or run until it reaches its maximum operating temperature. No.
Thank you. Another question we have is, it looks like we may be getting competition from AMETEK for EO type regens, Neil, special coatings, motors, mag drives, etc. Are we aware of this? That's pretty much.
Yes, we do know that, and there is the difference between our ChemTough, which is not a coating, and other coatings which are more like a paint which can chip off. The ChemTough is actually, which is shown in the catalog, is actually subsurface, but we do know that there is competition, which just makes us have to work that much harder.
Okay, and it looks like the last question we have written in the chat. Oh, we've got another one. Yes, we will send a copy of all the contact information with the recording to you guys. So anything in this presentation you will have access to. So our customer service team and all the information inside of here. The next question is, are the test reports available if needed?
Yes, they are. It's preferred that if you know that you're going to need a test report with a unit, that is requested when the PO is placed, because unless the unit is serialized, I have to go back to a date code range, and if we produce multiple units on that day, it could cause some confusion. But if it is identified as needing 100% test data to be supplied with the unit, we can certainly do that. We just have to know about it.
And as a follow-up, I have had that request before, and I've gotten serials from Rock Creek, which is one of the benefits of Rock Creek, is they do serialize them on the label, so we can trace the unit. Saugerty's never serialized.
Okay, it looks like we have a few other questions. What blowers come standard with inlet filters?
There are 3 models that come standard with inlet filters. They are all what we consider the second generation units, which are the 633, the 833, and the 1233 family. Both the DR series and the EN series have an inline filter. It's not an inlet filter, it's a dual connection inline filter, which can be used for either pressure or vacuum applications.
Thank you. Another question we have is, who should I contact for a catalog? You can contact me, Amy Sedlock, for catalogs or any kind of hard copy literature. I can also help you find anything online on our website if needed. So again, that's Amy Sedlock. I've been sending you guys emails back and forth, so just send me an email. Another question that we've come up is, are we looking for another vendor that can supply air switches?
Those were actually made by our sister plant over in Woodstock, New York, which used to be actually part of us, but they're now a different division. At this time, I don't think we are because they stopped physically making them.
Yes, that's correct.
Thank
This
you.
is Steve Griffiths here. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I was going to say, to reiterate what Neil just said, yeah, that was something that was manufactured by the old aerospace group in Woodstock. They stopped manufacturing those, and as a result, we're not supplying them anymore. They were a very, very low-end type product, and we sold very few of them, and they will not be reintroduced into the product line.
Okay, thank you. And it looks like we have one more question so far. Can we have another air power training class like we did many years ago? Steve and I have been working on some ideas to help with getting you guys more information about the products and the updates. So these webinars are the first go at that. So, you know, as we keep working through this and getting more content created, we will work to either do an air power class or have more product related webinars. We have one more question on here. It looks like we have long lead times for large moisture separators. Are those being phased out?
This is Chris.
The answer, I think, is no. They're still available. The problem I think we ran into initially was they weren't built yet in the Rock Creek plant, so they actually had to be documented to be built in the Rock Creek plant, and that's where we got bit.
We also, in the move of that product, we outsourced a lot of cutting and welding. We do not do those processes in the Rock Creek facility, which were done inside the Saugerties facility in a hot works area, and so it did change the supply chain for those products. That is something that we could look at once we get better knowledge here at Rock Creek of the volumes and what product flows. That is something that product management may want to take a look at, whether forecasting is the right solution so that we plan material properly, or whether possibly stocking is the answer. But like with all the other products, we are certainly working to reduce lead times. So that is just more information about that particular product line.
Thank you. It looks like we have covered all of the questions that we have right now. If you do have other questions, you can send them to Steve Ibsen or Amy Sedlock, and we will help you get an answer. Right now, I'm going to turn it back over to Steve, and he is going to close us out.
Thanks, Amy. Don't worry if we didn't get to any questions that you may have. You can send them to us. We'll be sending out the actual answers to the questions that were submitted today in a separate email. Is there anything else that the presenters would like to cover before we wrap this up?
Not me.
Okay. Well, great. Thank you, everyone. We appreciate you being here. If you have any topics that you would like to see us cover in this Coffee with AMETEK webinar series, please let us know. We've also provided a list of AMETEK employees and their contact information if you should ever need to talk to someone about Rotron regenerative blowers. Please keep in mind the most efficient course of action will be through your customer service or sales professionals. Until next month, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, you guys. Have a wonderful day.